So the Democrats are calling this bill the Equality Act. Let's look a little bit more carefully about what this kind of equality would be. All across America today, you will find millions of people who've dedicated their lives to caring for the most vulnerable Americans. They're playing with foster kids who are orphaned or have never known their parents, sheltering women who have been badly abused by a boyfriend or a husband, making children with Down syndrome smile and know that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. You may not know the names of these Americans. You may never know the name of them because they don't seek out the spotlight. They don't have slick publicists or glossy profiles written in the liberal media. But these extraordinary Americans pour out their time and energy every day in charities, clinics, and schools, whether out of simple kindness or deep religious faith. 40% of the top 50 charities in the United States are faith-based, and religious institutions provide more than $1 trillion in societal benefit every year. If this bill passes, a bureaucrat in Washington, however, may show up at their doorstep one day, or an official-looking letter may arrive in the mail, and the bureaucrat will ask whether the charity operates according to beliefs about gender identity that were totally and completely novel until just yesterday. And when they become mandatory, even though they remain deeply unpopular with the American people. And if these citizens refuse, whether out of faith or common sense or both, they will be punished. Their religious schools will be cut off from federal aid. Their battered women's shelters will be sued for supposed discrimination for refusing to admit men. Millions of Americans will be treated as second-class citizens and threatened with lawsuits simply for believing that men are men and women are women. That is the heart of this so-called Equality Act. Most Americans believe this is wrong-headed, even if they are too scared to say it for fear of being kicked off social media or losing their job or losing their spot in school. But I am not scared to say it, and I will say it for them. And I'm glad that we have a few of them here today to say it as well. So let me ask you, Ms. Schreier, if the Equality Act were to become law, would it predictably shutter or punish thousands of charities, clinics, community services, and schools across the country?
Yes.
And how exactly would it do that?
Well, and I believe any organization that, or any school that did not accept, that held to a biological view base of sex as part of its religious belief would come in the crosshairs of this new anti-discrimination law.
Thank you. Ms. Hassan, let me turn to you virtually. Would the Equality Act shutter or punish thousands of these charities, institutions, schools, and other well-meaning Americans who are trying to help their fellow citizens?
Absolutely. And the one core of this is the refusal to recognize the difference between biological sex. So any religious house of worship, faith-based charity that abides by restrictions based on biological sex. So for example, if you have a Jewish charitable outreach that separates men and women, it's going to be subject to a discrimination lawsuit because they're going to be risking violation of that provision protecting gender identity. So it is not true to say that people of faith don't lose anything. We lose everything. This just prevents the Religious Freedom Restoration Act from being available to us. It's a complete, just radical change in the rights of religious Americans.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan. Let me ask one final topic in closing, just to make this concrete. Ms. Schreier, do you know who holds the women's world record in the 100-meter and the 200-meter dashes?
I believe it's Allison Felix.
It's the late, great Florence Griffith Joyner. Flo Jo to millions of her fans. One of the most exciting, dynamic, amazing athletes I've seen in my lifetime. I can remember watching her set those records now 33 years ago. The fastest woman to ever run in recorded history. No woman has ever run faster than FloJo. You know who has run faster than FloJo? 76 high school boys in America in 2019 alone. High school boys, not grown men, and just in America, not all around the world. Ms. Schreier, is it really fair to allow biological men to compete against women in sports if 76 high school boys can run faster than the fastest woman in the history of the world?
No, it is not. It would end women's sports.
Thank you.